Hello, thank you very much for joining us. This is the Conrado Show where we talk about purpose, passion, and power. These are key elements in fulfillment and achievement of great visions of individuals and helping our society in general. And today we are talking about how to help the aged, how to care for those who are senior citizens in our society. We have a guest who has started work in that. He's 6 years in doing that particular kind of work. He is the director of the Tabitha uh, Aged Care Home, and he is Mr. Amos Kakari. And he is going to be helping us understand why the passion, why he thought it wise to set up a center like that for the aged. Thank you very much for joining me, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Now, so tell us a bit about you yourself. We want to get to know about you. Who is Mr. Amos Asuma, right?
Yes, Kakari,
exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah.
Amos Asuma Kakari.
Okay, where do you come from?
Yes, I'm from a village that I doubt is on the Ghana map.
What is this name?
The name is Esioko. Esioko in the German North now. German North District.
Okay.
And,
which region is that?
In Bono region.
Bono region.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. And where did you grow up? Did you grow up there?
Yes, I grew up there up to P6.
Okay.
Then I had my middle school in those days, middle school in Fiepresian.
Okay.
And then I went back to Drobo, by then New Drobo Secondary School.
Okay.
And then eventually ended up in St. Peter's in Kwetia for my sixth form. And then later got to Legon,
Okay.
University of Ghana,
To read
to
what?
to do social work.
Okay, social work.
Yeah, so I did social work and sociology and psychology for the first year.
Yeah.
And then I majored in social work with sociology.
I see.
That was in 1992.
Hey, I was in class 2 at that time.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then
Yes, then later I did public administration masters at the University of Ghana, by then School of Administration,
Yeah.
now School of Business.
yeah. Interesting. Interesting. So that's a bit about you and
Yes.
your
And then
educational
finally I did a little 2005 certificate in NGO management at GIMPA.
Gimpa.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So basically,
awesome. You have really equipped yourself for this role, this ministry. Yeah. So, but what have you done in social work before setting up the Tabitha home?
Well, as I said, when I came to Legon, my interest was to do something in BA nursing.
Oh, like seriously?
Yeah, that was.
So we would have asked maybe the director of nursing to do
Well, eventually, I was not given because they said I didn't do chemistry at the O level. I did biology.
I see.
So originally I was given psychology, sociology, and social work.
Yeah.
And interestingly, social work was at that time being introduced at the university for a degree as a degree course.
So you were a pioneer?
Yeah, we were the pioneers.
Oh,
so a friend of mine, an adult friend, by then he was a registrar at the University of Ghana, Mr. Ifa. Now I don't know. He later became in charge. Yeah, Paul Ifa.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So he actually encouraged me that since it has been introduced at the university level, it should be a nice course. I should go in for it. And so I went in for it, and interestingly, that became my major.
Oh, okay. So you see?
Yes. So
I see.
so when it was introduced to me, I realized that was a passion. I mean, an area of interest.
I see.
And so I started implementing whatever was being learned.
Okay.
So as far back as 1992, I was able to get World Vision to do an amputation for an elderly person in my village who was suffering from a big sore.
I see.
And it became a toast of the town. Everybody was praising me around.
Oh.
And eventually was able to get an ambassador, US embassy, to build a library for my community.
Oh.
So I realized that that was an area.
That passion.
Yes. So
community.
like I was all over the place doing one activity of social work.
Yeah.
here and there. So basically, when I finished the masters, I had an offer to be an assistant registrar at Winneba, the University of EUW. Yes, that was in 1999.
Wow.
But something was in me telling me to do more social work. So I went to work with Village of Hope. And so...
For how many years?
Yeah, I've worked with Village of Hope actually over 20 years. I started working with Village of Hope, in fact, as a volunteer from 1995. And then formalized my relationship in 1999.
I see.
And when I left in 2017.
I see. That was when Tabitha.
Yeah, so
Tabitha.
It was when I left Village of Hope that I set up Tabitha.
I see. I see. So let's talk about what does the country, Ghana, what interventions do we have for the aged that you know?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. To date, we don't have any formal policy for the interest or aged policy, actually, to say.
I see.
As far back as 2003, by then it was President Kufuor's time. It came up to the cabinet for a policy for the elderly people in this country, in the aged people's policy. It was discussed and accepted as a policy, more or less, at which cabinet gave approval. Unfortunately, nothing happened to it until 2010.
I see.
When Minister Honorable E.T. Mensah was in charge of social welfare and employment and social welfare. And so it was reviewed because it was considered inadequate because of latest development. So this national welfare policy for the aged was reviewed in 2010.
I see.
And the Honorable Minister issued a white paper on that, meaning that it was going to be published, promulgated by the Parliament at that time. Incidentally, nothing happened to it once again. And as we speak, 2023, the policy has not been promulgated.
It's not in use.
Yeah, no.
Like seriously.
It has not been passed.
So as a country, we do not have any policy guiding how we...
Formal one, we have dotted policies here and there aimed at supporting the aged. But since it has not been formalized, we don't have the national aged policy. It is difficult for any organization or any institution, so to speak, to promulgate or to implement this policy. I remember...
It's LEAP. I've heard of LEAP.
Yes.
Livelihood Empowerment.
Yeah,
I thought that it was for the aged.
No, LEAP is for poor people.
It's not for the aged.
Yeah, not for the aged, but because aged is one of the vulnerable people, they happen to be a component. But somebody did a study to find out what component, and they realized that we have about 32% of elderly people who are covered.
Oh, okay. Is it still in effect?
Yeah, it's in effect, but the problem is that the assessment has been a problem all along. It is until recently not wholly run by Department of Social Welfare.
I see.
Yeah, during Honorable Oyelite's time, it actually expanded. Unfortunately, people who were doing the assessment were not core social workers. And so I didn't select the right people. Actually, when I set up Tabitha, I wanted to go into that to see how best we can push most of my members into that. And I realized that a lot of my members were covered, registered.
Okay.
But when I got to the Department of Social Welfare at my district, they told me they don't do the final selection. It was an organization that is not social welfare related.
Really?
They use certain criteria to select those who qualify.
I see.
And the officer told me the process is such that some questions technically knock out the people, the potential people who deserve, because they will ask you certain questions, and if you answer in a way like, do you have a television in your room? And you said yes, then it means that you are above that.
Oh.
Meanwhile, it might be an old television that is not even working. So the officer told me that's why most social work elderly people are not covered. So, and because it was not run, or the selection is not done by social workers. Recently, the program is being implemented by social workers, but it's still not covering a lot of people.
I see. So none of your members is accessible.
Some of my members are part, in some communities.
Interesting. So tell us what made you to finally focus on the aged?
Yeah. So as you really just pointed out, when you look at people we call vulnerable in our community or in our society, we have children, we have women, we have PWDs, that are people with disability, we have children, delinquent children or juvenile who don't have support. So when you put all these people together, they are people we call the vulnerable people, orphans, abandoned children, and street children. Incidentally, children have an act. Government has a formal policy that takes care. The Children's Act is there to take care of children. We have People with Disability Act that takes care of people who are disabled. Then we also have Domestic Violence Act that also takes care of women. In fact, we have Juvenile Act that also takes care of children who are delinquent youth. And incidentally, none for the aged. And so there's no formal policy in this country that takes care of elderly people. But one time I went to my MC and I said, "Can you do something for me?" And then she laughed and said, "Mr. Kakraba, you need to make a lot of noise." Because here, on my table, there is no policy that allows me to do anything for your people.
Really?
I had heart love to do that, but I don't have any formal policy. And she was right, because there is nothing formal in the District Assembly Act, the Local Government Act, that says give this percentage like it's done for the PWDs. So at the end of the year, any money that comes from whether common fund or from the public purse, there's nothing allocated for the aged people.
Really?
Only in health insurance, you should be 70 years and above before you qualify to have free health insurance.
I see.
So between 60 and 70, if you are poor and you have no support from anybody, then of course you need to pass on, because you have to be 70 before you are supported by the health insurance. President Kufuor introduced something about transport, but I don't know that is working now.
I see.
So as I said, there is no comprehensive policy anywhere in this country that caters for the elderly people. And so now they try to pass the bill that forbids people being labeled as witches. So that may also be an addition to better the welfare of the elderly people. Apart from that, you have one or two policies that are not directly in line with what the elderly people really will benefit from, because there's no official mandate for any organization in this country to do that. Interestingly, you go to social welfare, we don't have a desk for elderly, not a desk. So there's no specific office that you can walk in there and say, "I'm coming to deal with the elderly." Their cases are treated as a general case. Go to the gender ministry, it is treated almost the same way.
I see.
And so when I decided to stop working with children and go into elderly, something that is what informed my decision.
I see.
And interestingly, I organized a program to give donation parcels, kits, to people, vulnerable people in general, in my community. Then when we're doing that, we're taking pictures. I was calling the names and my minister was handing over the parcels. Then at the end of the program, I took the pictures and was going through. Then I saw a kind of expression, some joyful expression in the faces of the elderly people among them.
I see.
As if that was the first time they were getting any gifts. So something just struck me and said, why are these people so happy because of this token gift? So there might be something in there we are not aware of.
I see.
So when I left and decided to do something for the poor in general,
Yes.
and I registered Tabitha Ghana, I thought, why don't I go into this area? Because what I saw, the expressions I saw on the faces of these people tell me a lot. And eventually when I went there, I realized it was a virgin forest.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Virtually, the people are completely neglected.
Wow.
And so you go in the basic food. Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah. No breakfast, no lunch. Some people can stay all day. Old people can stay all day until somewhere in the evening they can have something to eat.
Seriously?
When they are sick, some people don't even have anybody around to take care of them.
Wow.
Let alone keeping them company and giving them food.
Yeah.
And there are countless number of such cases I've come upon and done a little on our side. And I realized that this is an area that the government should be actually seriously looking at. And unfortunately, in 2021, when we were launching one of our programs, at that time, Parliament has said it had 56 bills that it was going to pass before they left. And that was around October. And they said they will pass those bills before they left for the Christmas. Yeah. Unfortunately, they went back but never passed that bill. And that was the last time I heard of the bill.
Wow.
So, what motivated me was this revelation somehow through this gift that something must be done about these people. So when I went in, I realized it is a huge challenge. So I need only to concentrate on certain areas I could work. And so I decided that I'm going to concentrate on getting them basic human needs, basic ones.
I see.
So call them basic necessities of life. I decided to look at feeding. Yeah. So one of our main ministries or programs is about feeding the elderly.
I see.
And then healthcare. Because when they get sick, who takes care of the poor elderly, especially those who don't have anybody around?
Wow.
So I said, okay, let's look at their medical needs. And then one basic need of every elderly person, rich or poor, is what we call companionship care. You need company. No matter how much money you have made in this world.
Wow.
You can die easily without company, especially when you're old.
I see.
Because it's both psychological and physical. Yes, you might be one of the biggest men. You might have the most influence on people. When you are old and are alone, you cannot exercise that influence anymore. And you don't feel important because nobody talks to you. And you don't feel belong.
Really?
And so your immune system goes down easily and any disease can take you away.
I see. I see.
So sometimes you meet older people and they are talking a lot and you don't understand.
I don't understand. Yeah.
So we said, let's look at the three basic areas: feeding, medical care, and companionship care. But because we are a Christian organization, we decided that we decided that the companionship care basically should be about telling them about God. So interacting with the elderly people with the word of God. Most of them might not have had the chance of becoming Christians or knowing God. So at this last hour, let them know God. And there's so much in there that gives them joy. You make them feel happy, hopeful, and worth living.
Wow.
And so,
Interesting. Wow, we have already zoomed into the main discussion. But where is this home, or where do you operate from?
Okay, at the moment, our main center is at Afiaman.
Oh, okay.
Afiaman is just separated from Pokwase by the Greek station. So it's just less than a kilometer from Pokuase.
Interesting. Interesting. So, how many people do you take care of?
Well, now we have 5 centers.
Okay.
Apart from our main center, we have 4 other centers.
Okay.
So putting all the registered members together, we have about 350 people we take care, elderly people we take care of.
350 elderly people.
Yeah, those are the registered members. We have others who are not registered.
They just come and then, wow. And so are some of them resident in the home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now we have a residential facility at the center.
Okay.
As I speak, we have 10 people in the residential. It has a capacity of 14.
Okay.
And now we have 10 people in the home. And so it came as a result of, I say, an accident.
Okay.
It's an accidental project, so to speak, because dealing with elderly people is, especially from the point that we were trying to support them, should be what we call community-based.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to support them at their doorsteps.
Where they
live.
I see.
Especially if you are not going to take them to a home, then you need to support them where they live. You can't put a program here and expect elderly people from there to travel to this place. So you do that at community level. And so we have community-based centers.
Okay.
We call them Tabitha centers.
Okay.
We have 4 in addition to the main center. And so at these centers, we provide them with feeding, we provide them with medical care, companionship care.
Wow.
But at our main center, we organize what we call the aged daycare center.
Okay.
Yeah, we introduce a daycare system like we have in basic schools.
Yeah, for true.
So an elderly person doesn't have anybody in the house, doesn't have food to eat, no company, and so it's okay. Let's organize a daycare center where people can drop in their elderly people and go to work and come. Those who are in the community can also walk in there, and they come. When they come, they will have food. They will have other people to talk to them. We have a minister of God telling them about God, and we can tell Anansi stories. We have games they can play, and then in the afternoon they also eat. And when they feel sleepy, and then we have a nurse too. When they come, she sends them through basic health drills. They walk on stones, they do certain exercises. And so as a result of this program, some may feel sleepy. And so where do they sleep? And so we acquired a small place that, okay, when they come, this is where they can rest. And then in the evening, they can go home. Then pressure kept mounting. Every day somebody calls to, oh, I've heard about your program. Can I bring my mother or father to stay there? And say, oh, it's not a residential facility. But so at a point I decided, let me record this number of calls.
I see.
And in less than 3 months, I had over 100 people calling and asking for residential.
You don't mean it?
Yes, I still have them on my phone.
Wow.
So
what did you do?
I started thinking about turning this into a residential facility.
Where maybe those who can afford to pay for them to live with you could do that. Others cannot afford.
Good. So we started this project in December 2001. December 2001.
Oh, I see. I see.
So
no, hold on.
The residential. 2021? Yeah, 2021. Oh, I said 2001. Exactly. Forgive me. 2021.
Exactly. Yeah.
December. But December 24th, 2021.
Exactly.
We formally commissioned this residential facility.
I see.
Aiming at people who can afford to bring their mothers and fathers or uncles there, and then give us something to take care of them, and then pay the caregivers.
Yes.
And so that's exactly what we do. Actually, it's not a commercial thing. So what we do is you should give us a little, enough to be able to feed the people, and then keep decent and get some people taking care of them. You need a caregiver around elderly people 24/7.
Wow.
So it's there now. It's a very moderate thing. If I go commercial, you can go around and find out.
Wow.
People pay about 3 times what we collect here.
Do we have some homes like that in Ghana?
Yes, we have a few around Accra.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I see.
Even the person who just called me
Right.
was calling me about their center inviting me to attend a program. Yeah, so we have a few of them around, but just a few also who are residential. We have a few who are non-residential, who don't have residential facilities, but a few ones that have residential, and we have some that are elite.
Okay.
Yes, in some
They have
places.
money, they can afford.
Yes, and you need to be in a certain category to be able to be admitted there. You go, you read, you do exercise, academic exercises, and those things. So, if you're an illiterate person, you may not fit into because they live that kind of life.
But you admit.
Way downtrodden people. Actually, our project is for deprived communities.
For deprived
communities. So it's either deprived rural or urban communities.
Wow.
And so most of our projects or centers are all in such places.
Interesting. But this all comes at a cost, Of course, 1 or 2 people may be able to pay for you to take care of their parents, but the others that you are really focusing on, the downtrodden, deprived communities, they can't afford. How are you able to feed them? If you have to do 3 times a day, even if it's once a day, where would you even get that money? And then these medications and all of these things and the caregivers you're talking about.
Sure. It's an interesting challenge. Very interesting. But, as I said, this is a Christian organization. We rely on God. We trust in God to provide the means.
Hey, this God.
Yes. So God touches the hearts of some people to do us the favor of food, supporting us food items. But basically, let me say it has not been easy. It has not been easy. I cannot count out members of the Church of Christ. In fact, they have been my mainstay. Those are places I run to. Yes. So in our recent anniversary celebration.
6th year anniversary.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good. We invited some churches. Some churches have responded. Some are yet to do. And there are certain individuals also who come to our aid. And your church has been one of them. You have been there.
The students at Heritage Christian University College.
Yes.
Kudos to you.
They've been very
more. Let's go more as well. I see. So you're calling on individuals?
I call on virtually everybody, Christian, non-Christian, because food or hunger doesn't know religious lines. So anybody who can afford to support us with money, because as I said, we need water, we need electricity, we need medication, medicine,
caregivers and supporting them. The facility itself, it's a rented facility.
Yes, a rented facility.
Yeah, I've been there. It's a very beautiful place. Not like, the way I'm painting it. I'm not making it look like
it's a heaven.
It's a mansion. It's a very decent facility, well kept and cleaned, and you have the caregivers. Mr. Kakraba himself is there almost 24/7, unless he has to just step out to go to the other centers. And that spiritual environment that I found was very, very invigorating. Myself, I felt like, I wanted to be an old man immediately and live there. But I'm not old yet. But I really loved what I saw. The fact that atmosphere was created for them to have that kind of community. And they were so happy and to belong. So I really encourage you in what you're doing. It's not easy, as you said. All of these sweet talk that I'm doing is money matter,
So it's money. And there are certain key people who have been of support to us.
I see. Awesome.
Maybe they're risking the danger of mentioning some people and not mentioning others. But I know, guys, I want to thank virtually everybody.
Right.
Some big church members, some brothers, some sisters, and some non-church members. They all been very, very supportive. And but as I said, it's a continuous project. It is a process.
Yes.
It is not ended. So we need more support now than ever.
What about these big NGOs and organizations, that we know about that are also into humanitarian projects and all? Haven't any of them looked at your direction?
No, you see, it's like we all have one market. Yes, and so it is not easy getting another NGO supporting what you're doing. They might be interested. They will give you one support, but a continuous support is difficult. And these days, because of the quack ones also in the system, people don't know who is doing the and therefore that also poses a challenge. However, there are certain individuals that we talk to, and they are convinced and they do support us. But I wish that we have many more people visiting us and seeing what we are doing.
That's very important. The visit. Myself, I went there personally just to go and see the place, and I went there with my students because they had a heart to also help, and we went there, and that was good. And you also told us that it's not just about giving, but sometimes
visiting and interact,
and then sit with them, interact with them, and play with them, and if you want to help clean up the place, and so there is so much work to be done if you have a heart for volunteerism or just this story of the elderly, because until I went there myself, I had never thought about what that segment, my father was old and passed away, and I have people who are old, but I've never thought about it that way, that these are some of the things that they may be lacking.
Yes, and it is not strange, because as I was narrating, from President Kufuor came President Atamios, right?
Kufuor,
Yes, Atamios, and then President Mahama, and now we have President Nanado. I don't think any of these people don't in person like the older people. But why haven't any government done anything concrete about elder people?
I see.
Look at the ministers. Most of them studied abroad. Some might even have worked with the old people's home.
It feels like becoming an entrepreneur aside academics is never going to be possible when you're in school. Mainly because we feel that we are young and we don't have the resources and the guts to be one.
But if you believe in yourself and you have the passion to become an entrepreneur, then you already are.
Staying ahead in a highly competitive environment requires applying creativity and innovation to every aspect of your journey to becoming an entrepreneur.
Presently, entrepreneurship is driven by creativity and innovation to attain business objectives.
The explosion in technology, business, entrepreneurship, and consumption in this new era is as a result of the ongoing application of innovation.
Milton Bell once said, "If opportunity doesn't knock, build a door."
So, if you are ready to be an entrepreneur, Heritage Christian College is ready for you.
Heritage Christian College moves you from a wantrepreneur to become an entrepreneur.
Do you have an interest and passion for the media? You see yourself excelling in the field of journalism and multimedia, but do not have enough time and funds to pursue courses in those fields. That is why the Heritage Christian College Media Training School was set up to give you an opportunity to train yourself for 4 months and get a 2-month opportunity for attachment at Truth TV. With our state-of-the-art studio and newsroom, experienced friendly lecturers in the field of journalism and conducive lecture halls, we offer students the chance to learn on the job with both practical and theoretical lessons.
We offer courses in journalism such as newscasting, show hosting, voice training and phonetics, voice-overs, report filing, and many others. In the field of multimedia, we offer courses in cinematography, video editing, animations, studio management, master control room management, light and sound engineering, set design, graphic design, photography, and social media management. We offer intensive one-week courses in communication essentials for professionals. We have both weekday and weekend courses. We are located behind Amasaman Stadium in Accra. Heritage Christian College Media Training School gives you all the tips you need to succeed in the world of communication.
Thank you very much for staying with us. We're still talking about helping the aged, focusing on the Tabitha home that cares for aged people. Mr. Karikari, before we went on break, you were talking about the fact that it looks like this is a very significant issue or challenge, but we have not really had any structures from the national level, institutional. No institutions are really focused on it very well.
Yes.
We may have people, through pension schemes and all of that, but how many people really have pension benefits? Yeah. So what do you propose?
Yeah. So like you said, incidentally, a few people, if any, think about their old age in terms of what we are discussing. Yeah, you think you have children, you think you have saved a man, now you have built a house. Those things are no safeguards for your old age.
I see.
In fact, when you get old, money is not enough.
Really?
House is not enough.
I see.
And sometimes investments that you've done are virtually inadequate for your support.
I see.
You need people.
Whoa.
People who can care for you.
I see.
People who should be around you. And that will make you a human being. Yesterday I was telling people that I have dealt with children for so many years.
Yeah.
But children have prospects because they grow.
They are now going to live their life.
Old people, you are going off.
Oh my goodness.
And incidentally, you have acquired so much experience. You have gone through a lot of experiences. You know virtually everything. But that is the time you don't have the strength.
Whoa.
So you know what is right. You can't do them because you don't have the strength to do it.
Wow.
And that is the period all type of diseases and sickness come to stay.
I see.
And they become chronic.
I see.
And so this is a time, even if you have money and you don't have the necessary support systems, you will not survive it.
Right.
And so you have a lot of people who are rich, but in their old age, they are very miserable. There are places when I send my nurse to go and do any case that we bring to our center, we go and do assessment.
Okay.
And some of the cases that we meet, sometimes we go and meet a person alone in a big house.
You don't mean it?
Yes, a lot of people, and the children may be a grandchild or somebody who has been hired to take care, doesn't even want to go near.
Oh.
Yes, they will show you that is the place you go and the person is alone in the room.
Really?
Yes, and as I told you, money is not enough.
I see.
Structures, physical structures, homes, houses, cars don't help people in their old age. You need people.
Wow.
You need people.
Wow.
I met an old man who was just roaming around, and from what I do, I knew something was not right.
I see.
So I just approached him, and he told me he's a retired minister of God. The wife, unfortunately, has passed on, and he lives alone in their house. The children, there are two children. One is a driver who goes away and comes 3-4 months before he sees him. The daughter is married and comes over during the weekend and cooks and puts it in the fridge. And so he's alone in the house with some tenants. And in the morning, everybody goes away. And so when they go, he has to come to the roadside. There's a woman who sells by the roadside and comes to stay there to interact with the woman. Unfortunately, that day, that woman didn't come. And so when he got there, there was nobody, and he had virtually nowhere to go.
I see.
So when I saw him he was roaming aimlessly.
Oh.
For close to an hour, he kept me there.
Really, just talking.
And so
I see.
when you become old, there are so many things in life that don't matter anymore.
Whoa.
Yes.
All the things that we are fighting for right now.
People have clothing, they don't use them.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Some have cars, they don't drive them anymore. You need people to be around you. You need people to provide the basic necessities of life. Yes, because at that time you don't have the strength to do these things. And sometimes you don't matter to people. Yes. All the acquired knowledge and all those, and the person you are living with might not have any need for them. And so you become irrelevant.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and that is some of the psychological pains you go through. Assuming you're an old man who is in your area, lecturer, you've acquired all the knowledge. Then you are living with a girl, a housemate who has no idea of what you're talking about.
Will you be teaching?
So you have.
Hey, it can be that serious,
Old age is a phenomenon that.
Mr. Kakraba, you are scaring you.
That is a reality. It's a reality.
We always pray that Lord grant us long life.
Let's get there, but we are not preparing for that. And that is why
the social structures. You may have all the money, but the social structures as you're talking about. Yeah.
So institutions have not been very popular in raising or taking care of people. In fact, in any social system, people are not so much encouraging institutional care. However, in terms of old age, for the experiences that I've had, I will encourage that we have them. You know, we talk about the white people. They've gone through almost the systems that we've gone through. We even have to take advantage of some of the social changes they underwent that we can easily skip them. Yes. During the industrial revolutions and all those things, what they went through, they learned a lesson. When economies change from agrarian economy to money economy, people don't have time sitting around old people.
I see.
Everybody goes out learning, go to work, and so old people are left alone. So they realize that you can't continue or sitting down around your old folks and make money in such economy because they must eat. And therefore they decided, let's build a place up and put them there, train people professionally to take care of them so that we have money and pay these people and they take good care of our people and then we'll be at peace and be working and get money. And that is what is working for them. We completely have forgotten that now our traditional family systems are not working. In the village, every schoolboy tries to go out. Every schoolgirl goes out. Before then, our mothers will leave their young girls to take care of their mother. And the old man or the old woman stays with the family. So they even become daycare carers because the people go to farm, they leave the children with them. And we didn't know it was so therapeutic for them because the children were shouting around and they were shouting and they were having a lot of interaction. And so the old man or the old woman doesn't have a problem with loneliness. So we go to farm, come and meet them, cook for them, and it's so important. Everything the family centers around them. We want to do naming ceremony, the other people, marriage ceremony, funerals. So if you're an old person in such an era, you are so important. You have no psychological pain. Unfortunately, our systems now take the children away. As you grow old, you go away from home. And some people travel abroad. And so they are there, they are making money, they are willing, their mothers are taking care of, but who is there to take care of them? And incidentally, our systems are not replacing the traditional old systems with functional institutions that will be able to take care of these people. So now, instead of us sticking to our old systems that are not working, let's encourage the institutions, homes, where we have trained professionals to take care of older people.
I see.
So in advanced economies, we have people who have been specially trained.
Yeah.
We have specialists, geriatric doctors and nurses who are taking care of elderly people, and they have laws in the country that are guiding these people so jealously. If anybody does anything wrong, you are in trouble.
Yeah.
Here we've left virtually everything. And so the traditional family system is not working.
Yeah.
We have no normal or modern systems, institutions to take care of them.
Wow.
And so we don't even have a policy.
Oh my goodness.
From Accra to Zabzugu, there's not a single room that we can point out this is old people's room, not a home.
I see.
There's no state institution or home we can say this is meant for the elderly. Not even a park.
Really?
Not even a park.
I see.
And so we
They're
have
really bringing these issues to the fore. I haven't thought about these issues this way before.
And so people abuse older people, accusing them of witches and to the extent of killing them.
Where the witchcraft and
Yes, and nothing happens to them. That woman who died in Kakraba, what has happened to those who killed her?
Yeah, perpetrators.
We don't know. As at now, whether anything meaningful has been done. And so, since people don't know, they think that nothing happens to you when you abuse older people.
Whoa. So the advocacy must start, right?
It's been started.
We will support you in the advocacy. We can make a lot of noise. So that's the best we can do for you.
Prospect.
You know, in terms of letting people know that these are core issues, these are the important issues, and we need to focus on addressing them. We cannot build a society where we neglect this significant, population that have contributed their quota to the development of the society, and then when they reach a certain age, then we just abandon them. That is a call to everybody, all the institutions who have to do something about this situation. The policy, the national aged, or how do you say, something about the aged, a policy on the aged needs to be passed, into an act, a law, a bill that can regulate the way things are done. And then there must be that political will, that power that backs all the things that are done with regard to our aged. And all the institutions also need to show concern. All the donations that we are doing to different vulnerable groups, we need to also focus on the aged. And that brings me to the question of, if people want to support you, how do they do that?
Yes, there are various means you can do that.
Okay, good.
You can come to our center.
Right.
Our main center at Afiaman. Okay. As I said, Afiaman is just close to Pokuase. Yeah. And so anytime you get to, from anywhere you get to Pokuase and you ask for Afiaman on the Maira Road, you come to Afiaman and then you look for us. We are just by the roadside.
Right.
And then you can also call us. Our number is 024 888 4737.
Okay. Mention that again.
024 888 4737. Yes, you Google Tabitha Aged Care Center, you also find it on the Google map.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
It's a Fiaman Pramprum, you'll find us there.
That's good.
And
that's good.
You can also, institutions like your place here, anybody who can contact the Troop TV can be directed to the place.
Sure. We are just close to.
Yes.
We are also in Afiaman, actually.
Yes. So you can also call us.
Right.
But I entreat churches, individuals, and benevolent organizations.
Yeah.
And one thing I also want to say, they say charity begins at home.
Sure.
Everybody should be kind to their older people.
Okay, right from the house.
Right from the home, so that older people feel loved and belong.
I love that.
Because there's so much pain. It's so painful that you gave birth to their mothers, their fathers, and then now you are nobody. All that they do is to abuse you. So everybody who is growing will come to this point. So they say, one good turn deserves another. If you do it today, your children will also see that older people should be treated kindly. And so when people grow up seeing that you are treating your old man or your old mother so kindly, they also grow to imbibe that thing. But if you start treating them badly, then your children will notice. And they realize that no, when you get old, people should abandon you.
I see.
And so I entreat every family to be so kind to their elderly. And churches, we are failing.
Oh,
yes.
That's
churches, we are failing. That is a place, it's a refuge for people who are vulnerable. But how many churches take care of their elderly? How many of them think about them every year? At the end of the year, how many of them organize a program? Sometimes once in a while you organize a program, you give it to the older person, you give them clothes. What are they using clothing for? So in our place, in terms of medical care, we also do health insurance for them. You know, at their age, they are saddled with chronic diseases. And so if they have a health insurance, that can just visit the hospital, go to a medical center, a store, chemical, what they call it, pharmacy, and some pharmacies accept health insurance.
I see.
Yes, and they only buy BP medicines, diabetes, and those things are not very expensive.
I see.
But there are places we go, some people have defaulted, they are not anymore taking their drugs. And you measure their BP, sometimes the machine cannot read.
Really?
Yes.
Because it's so high?
It's so high beyond the reach of the machine. Sometimes 200. Yes. There are places we met. Just recently, we went to one community here. I don't want to mention the name. Yeah, there are cases the doctors measure those things and quickly we have to do referrals.
Oh, yeah?
And there was a case we had at our former center. We had to write the person to Kolebu, and for 3 days he was detained. Otherwise, he would have died.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's places.
Because he wasn't frequently going to the
He's
hospital.
not taking the medicine. They lost trace of when even they had the last pill because they didn't have money to buy.
Oh,
and these are petty needs. So those who are interested in supporting us to do that, they can they can take care of some. You can adopt an old man, an old woman. You need to, maybe every month you can give him 100 cities, 30 cities, 50 cities, just to take care of his medical needs.
Right.
And so the older people need your support as a young man.
Right.
In our Kan language, they said if the old man's the buttocks, when they finish or they grow lean, they go into the younger people's buttocks. To where they say, penny netosa eko abranti edim. It means that their strength, when their strengths go away, it comes to the younger person. And so they depend on the younger person to live as people. And that is exactly what every young man should do. Schools can start forming clubs that can take care of older people. Church youth can do same.
Right.
And church leaders can also organize programs that will take care of older people in their churches.
Interesting.
Until they come to places like ours.
Right.
So that is a piece of advice I want to encourage all of us, or give all of us in our society, because when the older people die, it means that our roots is being cut off. They are the source of traditional and our customary knowledge, wisdom. Traditional medicine. They are the people. They are the people who are telling us about the way we should speak our languages. They are the people who are custodians of our rights, how to marry and all those. So if you think that the old person is relevant, you are dying off because your root is being cut. And so let's support the elderly so that when it is our turn, people also support us. But please, Tabitha need your support. Yes, so call us, as I said, on 024-888-4737.
Good.
Yes, and you go to the Facebook too. We are there, Tabitha Ghana. You will locate us.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Amos.
Thank you,
Asuma,
giving me the opportunity.
Kakraba. Yes. So thank you very much, and we are very excited that we are throwing the spotlight on the aged or issues regarding the elderly, because they have been neglected in our society, and we need to now start the advocacy on the aged, because this is what there's this proverb too about tooth. You know, if you look at
yeah, finish. The old man to lose the teeth.
Uh-huh.
Then the one who has helped you to grow teeth, you should help him to lose the teeth.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that as well. So it's right for all of us to focus on this particular issue because it's very important, and God would surely help all of us, you know, to really live a good life if we are able to take care of our old folk. Thank you very much for your time. This show was brought to you in association with Heritage Christian University College and then the Conrado Group. Thank you. Bye-bye for now.